Hello, hello, YouTube.
Hello, hello.
We are
We're on
live.
YouTube. Yay! Our first live YouTube session.
I know, I know. How are you doing today, Aura?
I'm good. It's been a packed day, but I'm here. I brought the island vibes as I promised to the people of Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we go. I'm ready. I got my trusty cup of tea.
Ah,
Ready to go.
awesome. Well, I'm just here sipping on some Lucozade, trying to survive. But it
Wait,
hasn't.
listen. That just now is like the perfect HR like duo, you know?
What are we like, honestly? Oh, we want to take this time to just welcome everyone to the Be Human Hour. We know we've been gone for some time. We want to thank you for joining us today. So I'm Julie Turney, and with me is
Aura Tillman.
Aura Talman. And we are going to just sit here for a few minutes and talk to you about some things as it relates to this show. This is our first show on YouTube. Originally, we used to do the show on Instagram, and Instagram wouldn't let us be great, so we just made this shift. But there may be another shift coming in
Yes.
another direction, so we'll talk a little bit about that. But or why don't you kick us off and tell everyone your origin story?
Okay, perfect. So my origin story, not fully related to HR, but it definitely affects the way I practice HR now. Is I am an immigrant, so I'm originally from Romania, and I moved to Canada when I was 13, and sort of that's where I grew my career, my HR career. I started my HR career. I was one of those people that was sort of like a forever adventurer and always searching for the next best thing. Couldn't really decide what I wanted to do. And then I myself had a really negative experience with a human resources person. So after that, I kind of vowed that, hey, you know what? Like, I'm good with people, I'm good with listening, and I'm going to change this industry. And so after 10 years in HR, I went off on my own, which is the consulting company that I own now, or Atonement Consulting. Julie, as you know, that name has changed because I recently incorporated. Very, very exciting.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
so we practice what I call holistic HR. It's a very modern type of HR where we blend mindfulness and HR strategy and technology together. And we mainly focus on people's performance. So that's what I have been doing as we're growing for the last year. It's kind of crazy that it's already been a year.
Hmm.
Julie, you and I met around the time I started my
Yes.
business, actually, and so did you, funny
Yes.
enough.
Yes.
So
Yes. It's true.
we're growing in business together and life together. So that is a little bit about me and my HR origin story. And Julie's very much part of that, actually, because so without Julie's support, I don't know that I would have been able to get through some of the ups and downs of business, of living in a new country. I live in Barbados now. I didn't even mention that.
Yes, you
That's
do.
the tropical vibes I'm bringing today. So this show was very much it makes sense for us. Julie,
Yeah.
what about you? What do you tell the people a little bit about your story?
Yeah, so I am originally from Manchester in the UK, but I've lived in Barbados pretty much most of my life since I was a teenager. Um, and my story in HR is very similar to HR. It's similar, very similar. Why am I all tongue tied? Very similar to Aura's in that I too had bad experiences, but with leadership. And it just made me question everything as to why people do the things they do, why they say the things they say, and it just made me look at things a lot differently. And so as a result of that, I went on this quest to search and find organizations that were more human, and that there was HR that was more human. And it wasn't always the case, wasn't always my experience, but in the latter part of my career, I was very privileged to have those experiences and to be able to be a part of giving those experiences to people in organizations. But I also recognized one of the many things about HR is that it's a very thankless profession. It's a very difficult profession because you are expected to be confidential and you're expected to take the brunt of everyone's insults and injuries. And how do we process that as HR professionals? And that's what made me start my consulting company, HR at Heart. So now I support the people who support the people. And I think that that's paramount to helping us as HR professionals be successful. And so I give HR professionals a safe space to be themselves, to hear their own voice, to, sound out various activities that they're trying to achieve in their organizations, and kind of think them through and see if they're practical, and just help them to come up with really great tools that they can use in their organization and coach their leaders and become coaches and not just teachers, not just doers. Get away from the transactional side of things and to be more human, and to bring the human back into the people experience profession, because I don't believe in human resources. I believe that we are people experience professionals. We're creating experiences every day, and that really matters to me. And so that's why this particular turn of events in my life and creating this company has been so significant. And Aura has played a very pivotal role in that, in helping me to sound things out and to put things together and create this machine that I am.
Definitely a machine.
It is a full machine. It's a full
And
machine. That's like for a whole other conversation, but it is a machine, and we're just trying our best to navigate entrepreneurship during COVID, and just navigate life together as really good friends. And so that's the extent of my origin story, or who I am and where I'm at today. So, Aura, why did we make this show? That's what we.
yes.
Why did we do this?
Okay. So we came up with the idea for this show because we both do HR very differently. Like we take a very different view to HR. And what matters most to us is the people first. And so I know that that's easy to say. And I know also a lot of people say that.
Mm,
I think it's very trendy these days to
it's
say
true.
that, like the human experience and putting people first. Like I see that. I see so many people talk about that. Yet the numbers of employee engagement, employee satisfaction, of turnover, it doesn't correlate. It doesn't make sense. If we're all talking about putting people first, why are people still so unhappy, so
Yeah.
stressed, and disengaged, right?
Yeah.
So when we came up with the idea for the show, really we wanted to talk about what it means to put people first. It's like I talked about this recently, Julie, but you know how a lot of people say like just it's important to be an authentic leader. And
Hmm.
then I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Like I agree. But what does that mean? So for us on this show, we talk about those things. And it's not just one person's perspective, right? It's my perspective and your perspective of,
Yes.
and often it's not the same perspective because how could it be? We have different lived experiences.
Yes.
So that's why, in my view, we created this show. But Julie, what do you think? What do you think this show is all about? If you had to spell it out.
If I had to spell it out, I'd say it was about creating safe spaces for people in our profession to be themselves, and to recognize the importance of bringing their human to work, thereby allowing the people they work with and they work for to bring their human to work. So feel like it sinks in, one sinks into the other. If we as HR professionals don't feel like we can be ourselves on the job, then how do we uh, expect our people to feel that way? If
Mhm.
leadership doesn't feel like they can be themselves on the job, then how do we expect the, the people to do the same thing. And I think it's about us having those conversations around what does that look like for HR professionals? What does that look like for leadership? How can they lead by example? And then, as by extension, their people feel safe to do that in themselves as well, the people that they work with. So uh,
I
that's why we
do.
talk about being different and being the same.
It's true. Like and we don't really like hide anything on this show, and we don't pretend, and we also don't like follow some big script or anything
Hmm.
like that. It's more, I feel like if you're new to the Be Human Hour, that's why I always say that like expect jokes and laughs and just it's like a chat.
Yes,
It's like a chat
it
with two
is.
HR professionals that totally get it. Like
Yes.
we get it. We
Hmm.
know what it's like. I also feel like we're two HR professionals that have sort of been like through the darkest things of what it means to be an HR, what it means to be a leader,
Hmm.
but then also like the really, really bright spots. And
Yes.
so um, depending on where you're at in your journey with HR, with leadership, with entrepreneurship, like, you're welcome here.
Absolutely.
There's something for everyone, for those people here.
Absolutely. And I feel like as you continue to journey with us and have conversations with us, it's going to be fully interactive. So we expect you to
Mhm.
be a part of the conversation and share your story, share your experiences, and we'll hold space for that. We're ready to hold space for all of that and support you in any way that we can. Um, we are going to take a very holistic approach to, to every conversation that we have.
Very,
Right,
very
Aura?
smooth. That was very smooth, Julie. I love that.
Essentially, that's what it is it's us taking a very holistic approach to how we um, share experiences in the space
Mhm.
of HR and allowing our audience to do the same. So
Yes, that was very well said.
I thank you. I do not see any comments or any questions. So, should we move on to the next part of this journey that we are on?
Yes,
What
let's
can
go.
people expect from us every month when we come here?
Why don't you go first, Julie, on this one? Go first every time. Why don't you go first?
I think people can expect a lot of what they've just experienced. Two people who really love their profession having engaging conversations. What will those conversations surround? I think Aura said it very well earlier as we talk about our experiences in HR and leadership and what those things frame around. So, whether we're talking about employee engagement, diversity and inclusion, talent acquisition, you know, um, culture. And I think cult again is another one of those words that's like,
No.
you know, what does culture really mean? And, why does it matter for us as HR to, is culture just an HR thing? No.
Yes, very
Yes.
good.
But so many of us have heard that expression, oh, let's just leave culture to HR. Culture is an HR thing. It's not a people thing. It's not a everybody thing. And so we're gonna have conversations like that every single time. You're gonna hear us have these kind of conversations, and we just want you to chime in and be a part of the conversation with us. But that's what it would be for me. There are lots of things we could talk about because HR is just so wide and vast. Um, but every week we're gonna come with one topic to the other, and just share our experiences with you, and hopefully you do the same with us.
I think so. For me, so coming up for us is, to add on to what you said, Julie, is that we do tackle topics that you won't see a lot of HR professionals talk about, or maybe leaders talk about. So when it comes to diversity and inclusion, when it comes to terminations, when it comes to personal development for people.
Mhm.
And I would love to cover things that are like unpopular opinions. I feel like
Yes.
we both have a lot of unpopular opinions
Hmm. So much. Oh,
around
so
about
much.
not just like the human resources profession, but for leadership, and as you said, these sort of trendy words that people love to use or to throw around online or in their posts, but nobody really like explains it or talks about it, or very few people do anyways.
Hmm. Hmm.
um, so that's what I see for our future, is talking about like some of the trending topics in HR, some of the unpopular opinions that we have about HR
Yes.
trends. In the past, we've covered everything from inclusion to performance to learning and development,
Hmm.
and we've done leadership in crisis, how to be
Yes.
an authentic leader. And so, if you have any suggestions for us, we'll be running a couple polls on our individual social media channels as well.
Hmm.
But I want to encourage people to get involved and to, like, if you have a question that you wouldn't ask anybody else in the HR profession, like, I feel like we're the two people that you can really
Yes.
ask, because the one huge thing that Julie and I have in common is that we don't judge people,
No.
and we just allow people to be themselves. I think some of it intentional because of how much we honor like our word, ourselves, other people, the spaces that we occupy. But then also, I think just by nature, we have that personality, like
Yeah.
people like tell us all the time,
Oh,
oh, I just think I can open up to you. It's so weird.
yes. I can
So
tell
I
you
feel like,
anything. Why
right?
do I feel so why
Exactly.
do I feel so okay just telling you this stuff?
Exactly. So if you have any burning questions that, even if you're not an HR professional, let's say you're a leader and you have some burning questions that you feel like there maybe isn't a space for you to ask those questions, that we want this to be a space like that, where people express their opinions, like no judgment here, honestly. And even Julie and I, like, sometimes we won't agree on everything 100%, of course that's not possible, but we
No.
always respect and honor each other.
Yes.
So that's the kind of space we want for everybody here. That's how I want everybody to feel, like when they come to the Be Human Hour, they're like, okay, I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna ask some questions, they're gonna
Yes.
talk, and then I'm gonna feel much better after.
Exactly. I'm gonna drink some wine while I do it.
Exactly, right? Like
Not
bring your
tea.
glass of wine, like bring your picnic in. No, actually Stella, right? Julie, is that your
Stella.
Stella? That's
That's my
right.
drink. You know.
That's
Stella or sour.
that's right. That's right. Right. So drink your rum sour. If you don't know what the rum sour is, we'll give you the recipe.
Yes. Can
You can
Google
try
it.
it. We
Uh,
can make it as our theme drink.
yes.
The B hour drink.
The Be Human Hour drink.
Exactly.
What's in your glass?
It's our new motto. Right.
I love it. I love it. So we're gonna try a little experiment. So we're gonna do the Be Human Hour shows here once a month on YouTube,
Yeah.
but we're gonna try a little experiment in March, uh, which means, are you in the club?
Are
We
you
need
in the
you to be
club?
in the club.
You are really like, I'm loving all these little quips tonight, with the holistic, with are you in the club? I love it. You're really on tonight.
I'm on fire tonight.
You really
Uh,
are.
so, people, are you in the club? The club that we're talking about is Clubhouse, which is being offered right now on Apple as iOS. So, yeah, if you have an Apple phone or an iPhone, sorry, did I say Apple phone? If you
Yeah.
have an
Yeah.
iPhone
We could
or
go
an
for it.
iPad, um, you'll be able to access Clubhouse. If you need, it is an invitation only. If you need an invitation, I have four that I haven't used.
I have
Um,
three, so
there we go.
if anybody
See?
needs some.
If you're looking for an invitation, we're happy to send that your way. You can reach out
Yeah.
to us on our social media, and we'll be happy to give you that invite. Clubhouse is so. This is what this is my description of Clubhouse. If you don't know
Yes,
what it is,
I'd love to hear it.
this is
Go
my
ahead.
description of Clubhouse.
Mhm.
It's like radio meets podcasting. If you put radio and podcasting together and they had a baby, it would be Clubhouse.
Yes, I
Uh,
agree.
because like on radio you can't radio is what happens in the moment,
Mhm.
and while you may be able to go back and listen to a podcast,
Mhm.
the ability to be able to interview people or have anyone share your space and have conversations with you and it just be in the moment, that is Clubhouse.
Yes.
So it's once the conversation is over, that's it. You can't ever go back and hear it again. So you want to be in the moment of being able
You
to be.
want to join us every week
Yes.
is what we're saying. You want to be there.
Yes. Do you think I'm spot on with the definition of Clubhouse?
Yes, I think, yes. I'm pretty sure that's how I would describe it, like a, yeah, like a radio show that you can call into, but more of a podcast because it's more casual.
Yes.
And if you don't already know Julie and I, like we are more of like casual type people. We're
Yes.
not like stuffy in any way or corporate in any way. No. But yeah, we're excited to try Clubhouse. I mean, we've both been part of different groups and different discussions, and so if you're new to Clubhouse, Julie and I will be scheduling the Be Human Hour every Wednesday. I think it was Julie. Did
Yes.
you decide on the time? You
Every
said
Wednesday
7
from
p.m.
6 p.m. American Standard Time, 1 hour in the club, the Be Human Hour, or Talman and I will be there having some amazing conversations with you beautiful people in the club. So if you're not in the club, get there. If you
Yes.
need an invite, contact us. We'll hook you up if we can.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And we are definitely looking forward to hosting on Clubhouse. It'll be both of our first time hosting. Actually, no, Julie, you've
Yes.
hosted a room before.
No, I've never hosted a
Okay.
room before. I've tinkered with it. So like I've gone and opened a room and then people have just shown up. I wouldn't say it was
You know what? That is my style. That is my
I
style.
know.
That's totally my
It's
style.
just pure experimentation. I love the agileness of it all. So I will experiment. And yes, it's just been, I did it maybe like once or twice. But I think once you add some structure to it and you schedule it and people see you show up, then people can see what the conversations that you're looking to have. And then you just, you know, create this great experience. So I am excited. We're going to
Yeah,
experiment with
I'm
Clubhouse for the month of March, people. So join
yes.
us
Yeah, so
every
starting
Wednesday.
on the first Wednesday of March, we are going to be in Clubhouse. So either connect with myself or Julie if you need an invitation, and we will come back to YouTube once a month.
Yes. And the conversations that we have here will not be the same. So
Yes,
please make sure that you join us in Clubhouse to get the full experience of
the
what
the full holistic experience. Join us.
love it.
That's our word for the evening.
Full holistic experience.
Yes,
We're taking
ma'am.
a holistic approach to HR and we're creating a great experience for our HR and business community. If you
Yeah.
want to learn how you can be more human in the workplace and bring your human to work and feel psychologically safe to do it, the Be Human Hour is the place for you.
Yes, you know what? I can't even add anything to that. Like you just said all the things right there. Okay, so I can't even add anything else. Like that was perfect. That was perfect.
Thank you. That's because you taught me well. I'm not going to tell everyone about the script that you typed before and then I just read it. Ah, I think we did really well. And with that, our time with you guys is pretty much up. Any closing remarks for you, or
Thank you.
anything you want to say to the people before we go?
I just want to say that I'm excited to be back. I think that it has been like a super weird, difficult, stressful, happy, just like all the emotions kind of time between our first season, which ended just before the holidays, or a little while before the holidays,
Yeah.
and then our second season. So I am excited to be back in the space. I'm excited to expand the Be Human Hour and to have more, I guess not more, but to have deeper conversations with people, to have more people join in the conversation with, you know, both you and I. And then obviously I'm super excited to see you every week.
I know. I missed you, girl. And this COVIDness, the COVIDness of it
It's keeping
all,
us apart.
keeping us apart is
Yeah.
ridiculous. We wanted to be sitting in the same space
Yeah,
for the
that
first.
was our original plan. We were gonna choose like a beautiful location, do a
Yes.
Zoom.
But we are on curfew,
Yes,
and
we
I'm
are.
sure a lot of you can relate to that. And you know what? We really need to have a conversation on the COVIDness of it all. I don't think we've done
Maybe
that.
it should be our first.
The
Okay.
COVIDness of it all. That's going to be our
Yeah.
first conversation in Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Oh, before I pass it on to you, I want to tell the people where they can find me.
Yes.
So I am on Instagram under Aura Telman Consulting, and I am also on LinkedIn under Aura Telman. So you can connect with me in either of those places.
Yes. You can find me everywhere on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter,
Literally
Facebook,
everywhere. Facebook.
everywhere, everywhere. Um, I have one handle. It is I am Julie Turney. That's IAM Julie Turney. And you can look for my company under HR at Heart. I know it looks like HR. It looks like H rat. It's not. It's HR at Heart. Everyone keeps saying to me it looks like HR rat. I'm like, it's
I
not. It's
never
only one
noticed that. I
R.
honestly never noticed that.
But
That's
you
so
know
funny.
why? That's just because Instagram won't let me do the at sign, which is what it really is. It's HR at sign heart all together.
What about the little heart emoji?
Well, I use it doesn't let me do that either. So I'm like, I have
Instagram.
Instagram just won't let us be great. Just won't. But it's okay. It's okay. We've moved on. YouTube
We
is
have
working
expanded.
out fine.
We have expanded.
Yes. And we will continue to make a dynamic impact on this
Yay.
universe
Yes, ma'am.
because they deserve it.
You are really with the worst tonight, Julie Turney. Like, I'm here for it. I'm very much here for it.
We need to get a gong or something like when things
Yes.
resonate. There's no emojis in
Sound effect.
StreamYard. They really need to do something with
We
that.
need something. Yeah. We need
Yeah.
like
We'll
I'm
come up
gonna
with
get
some stuff.
like an emoji balloon and I'll just bring it in the picture every time something awesome happens.
Yeah, we need to. You know what? I will definitely try to find something and work it into the stream. So because you can do stuff with stream, we're now experimenting with StreamYard, but I live for experimentation. It'll work out just fine, or
Yeah. 100%. I'm
so.
with you. I'm with you.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, everyone.
Thank you,
It
everyone.
really was a pleasure to be here, and we look forward to seeing you in the clubhouse. And until
Yes.
next month in March, this same time, you'll see us again on YouTube. Right?
Yes. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.